Hey guys, it's been a while since I've been able to talk to you guys and make a video. I've been really busy as of late, and I also focused pretty intently on this previous montage I made, but I'm finally getting into more guides that you guys have requested. I'm trying to put every single guide that gets requested in order, and Duck Hunt just so happens to be the next guide. After that, it's going to be a Rosalina and Luma guide. But this guide was requested by me, Captain. I believe I said that right. Hopefully that name is appearing right now. I always put the name of people who request videos in my videos, so that way if they happen to comment, I can highlight it and you guys can, like their comment or tell them thank you if this video helped you, that kind of stuff. But today we're going to focus on Duck Hunt, the guide, his combos and everything. As always, with all my videos involving guides, I do put a combo timestamp just in case you guys don't really need to watch the guide, you just want to see the combos, so that should be popping up right now as well. But without further ado, let's get into the video. With every guide, I like to start off with the basic stuff like jabs, tilts, dash attack, and I'm also going to include taunts from now on because that has been requested by a fellow viewer. So let's do the taunts first just because those are the easiest. You have your up taunt, which is kind of like a handstand, the down taunt, which is like a way to get the camera, and the last one, which I think is the funniest one, is him almost snickering at his opponent, laughing. Definitely make your opponent pretty salty with that one. But anyway, let's get into the moves. So we have the jab. His jab comes out at frame 4, so it's a pretty quick jab. That's what it looks like. You also have a gentleman's jab, which is kind of like if you were to hold A after the first jab, it kind of kicks him off. Doesn't do too much damage, but it's just a quick way to get somebody off you. And then you have the rapid jab, which is when you basically just tap A really quickly and he beaks your opponent pretty hard. On the combo counter, it looks really nice. On the damage output, not so much. We're going to talk about his tilts now. His forward tilt is going to be a frame 8, which is, it's okay. Only problem with Duck Hunt is I feel like a lot of his moves are meant to start combos or to lead into combos or kind of to poke your opponent with, but not so much to kill with, which is kind of sad, but we'll get into that later. So here's forward tilt. It can be angled, so this is just regular forward tilt. Oh, my bad. I do not use C-sticks, so you're going to have to forgive me, guys. Regular forward tilt. That's him going upwards with his forward tilt, and you can go downwards, so you can actually poke your opponent when they're trying to recover. That does come out at frame 8, as I said before. Next, we're going to talk about his up tilt. His up tilt is not that great. I'm not gonna lie. It's usually when I look for characters with good moves, up tilt is up there with a lot of the great combo starters and a lot of the great kill options for some characters. Up tilt for Duck Hunt really just isn't. It's not a kill move. It can be used to set up combos, but the hitboxes on it are kind of bad. See how close I am to Donkey Kong right now? I'm not gonna get too close because I will end up hitting him, but most moves will probably end up hitting on up tilt. Like Donkey Kong's up tilt would hit me from here. Duck Hunt's not so much. Oh, I lied. Not so much. It just kind of misses, which that's because the hitbox pretty much is straight vertical, meaning your opponent is either going to have to be on top of you completely, kind of like a rest scenario with Jigglypuff, or they're going to be above you. But luckily we do have some ways to get that on our opponent, so no worries there. We will basically take the cons and throw them out and work on the pros here. Next, we're going to talk about his down tilt. His down tilt does come out at frame 6, making it one of his fastest tilt options. This is what it looks like. You could also catch your opponent trying to recover with it occasionally. I don't recommend trying this. I mean, you could. It's still fast, but there are far better options you have for edge guarding than just doing down tilt. And his dash attack. It comes out at frame 10, meaning it's not the fastest dash attack. However, it does have two different hitboxes. You have the initial hitbox, which is when Duck Hunt kind of runs into the opponent. Does around 12%. And then you have the lasting hitbox, which is when the duck runs to the opponent last. So if you start the dash attack a little bit premature, the duck will end up hitting them, and it'll usually send them at a very strange kind of trajectory. So I'm going to show that real quick to you guys. Oh, one more time. Maybe I'm not doing that right. There we go. That's what I was talking about. I was like, why is this not working? So yeah, the lasting hitbox basically kind of just tips your opponent upwards. So if you do manage to time that correctly, I guess you could be able to pull off a few combos maybe, but it's very, very hard to get just that exact scenario. But anyway, that's the tilts, dash, and jab with taunts. Let's discuss Duck Hunt's throws now. They are also kind of lackluster in nature. They don't put out too much damage, and I don't believe you can really combo off of any of them. However, they still are good for a few more reasons, which we'll discuss later in the video. This is up throw. 7.2. You figured you'd be able to combo off that, but nothing is really true. However, it is okay because it does put your opponent above you, and your up air is one of your best juggle tools. So there's that, I suppose. Your down throw, You figure that would be an excellent combo tool. Just how long your opponent stays in the air, how close they are, it would be awesome. Unfortunately, when you watch Duck Hunt do the down throw, as soon as he slams him down, he kind of does like a little bit of a face or a taunt in a way to the opponent. Like look, he kind of faces downwards. Like it's almost like he relishes in something the opponent down, I guess. And because of that, it's almost impossible to follow up with anything after that. Like that right there, I think is the best possible thing you could do, which is just to do a forward tilt and hope that you can hit him or something. Because everything else is just kind of yeah, it's okay, I guess. It's not perfect. It is what it is, I guess. You have your forward throw, 9.6. It's not really possible to combo into anything. It's not very flashy in any way, but it is good because it can combo into certain things, which we'll discuss later in the video in the combo portion. And you have your back throw, which does around 10.6, or not 10.6, 10.8. I also believe that none of these are actually kill throws, which makes them even worse. If they were kill throws, at least they'd be able to, you know, do something. But up throw, you're gonna have your opponent around at least what, like 180 maybe if that. Let's see. Yeah, 180 and even covering it. Sorry, no good. You got your down throw. That's still not gonna kill. Even probably around like 250, probably still won't kill. Have your forward throw. That could kill, I suppose, if you get your opponent close to the edge, but it's just, even then, it's not worth it. And you figure since down throw has the most damage, it would also have the most knockback, but also has a hard time killing. So very, very sad for throws, unfortunately. Let's get into the aerials now. So Duck Hunt's aerials they're okay. Another problem that I told you that he would have in the video is that he has a hard time killing. Unfortunately, these aerials aren't super great for that either. However, they have their uses. So let's cover neutral air first. Neutral air comes out at frame 6, I believe, which makes it a pretty solid kind of like get off me tool. Maybe you're shielding, you can just kind of go bounce off. Also, you can go like that and kind of drift backwards. It's a little safe on shield. It does have decent knockback among all of his aerials. In fact, out of most of his aerials, I'm going to say this one, in terms of just horizontal knockback, is probably the best. Unless you hit like a sweet spot with back air, of course. But it's good. It's got good hitboxes too on it. It does have a sour spot where if you land in it onto your opponent, it's not going to have much knockback at all, so keep that in mind. It's always better to do it directly on the opponent. Get the most knockback possible. And damage for that matter. Next, we're going to talk about the forward air. Forward air is good for a few reasons. Forward air kind of has, you can poke with it, stay away from your opponent and just kind of poke at them and safely space it. However, it's also good because it can be used to set up combos and other things. However, it does have another glaring weakness in the fact that despite hitting the sweet spot with it, you're going to have a hard time killing with it. So the sweet spot that I'm referring to is the beak of the duck. Now, there's more of like a better hitbox than just the beak of the duck, but when using this move, try to remember that you're always wanting to hit the beak for the best spacing and the best damage. Because if you do too close to your opponent, you're going to get like 6%. It's not going to really do much. It's going to be hard to combo into. Maybe it'll be a little easier to combo into, but just the knockback's not there, which is unfortunate. Alright, so now we're moving on to the back air. The back air looks almost identical to forward air, and it even comes out at frame 7 like the forward air, but it has much more knockback and much more damage. So here's what it looks like if you do it correctly. Space it, kind of poke him in the face of the beak. If you don't space correctly, you're not going to get that much knockback, but it still does more damage than forward air, even when basically spaced incorrectly, which is solid. It can be a kill option, but kind of much later, which is, again, another disappointment that Duck Hunt has. And then we're going to go into our up air. Now, I think his up air is phenomenal. It's kind of tricky in a way, but it's also very good because it can juggle and it's deceptive. So here's what up air looks like. It's a three peck beak attack with the duck. You can also do it multiple times in the air because it has very low end lag, which I think is pretty good. And on top of that, the reason why it's deceptive is you would think each hitbox that comes out would be basically where the duck is upon it striking. So for instance, the duck goes right, left, up if you look really carefully. So you'd figure the first hitbox would be to the right, to the left, and then straight up. But in actuality, every single beak peck covers all 3 hitboxes. So even if my opponent is to the right of me, when the beak is to the left, it'll still manage to kind of clip him and hit him, which is very nice. And as before, it's an awesome juggle tool. You have no problem getting at least 30% on an opponent with it. Very nice. And the final one of his aerials, it's going to be his down air. His down air is kind of slow, but it's one of the flashier down airs in the game for me. I used to think this move sucked, and I still kind of think it's not the best of all down airs, mainly because it's slow and has a hard time killing, even when your opponent's at a harder percent. But it does its job fairly well. So here's what it looks like. If you look very carefully, Duck Hunt Dog actually manages to kind of paw at his opponent before striking with the duck, because it's 2 hits. So you have the paw strike and the duck strike. So let me show that to you real quick. Now the reason why I think this is bad is because there's just so much like startup lag on it and has a hard time killing. But if you want, what you do with it is you can actually kind of catch your opponent with Duck Hunt Dog, and if you know you hit them with Duck Hunt Dog, then the duck is a guaranteed basically second hit, which is a spike, which is nice. I believe you can even drag your opponent off the edge with it, but it's a little difficult. Let me try that one more time. Yeah, not having any luck. Even with my opponent at, what is the 60%? Let's get him a little higher. See if I can just... I'm not going to say Donkey Kong will make that back because he already used his jump, but some other characters, maybe like the Fire Emblem characters or just characters with better recovery, they would definitely be able to make that back, which is kind of why I think the spike's not that great, but it's nice just to have a spike for most characters. I enjoy having a spike on all my characters. Let's cover the smash attacks next. The only problem I have with Duck Hunt smash attacks is that you can basically fall out of all of them and they kind of look the same. I wish he had different looking smash attacks, is all I'm saying. It's okay if you want to stick to like the game, you know, and make it look as reasonable as possible for a character to have those moves, but they just kind of bore me a little bit. I wish, it's okay for him to have one of these, I guess, but I wish it would change a few. Anyway, enough of my personal problems. So here's what we got. We got the forward smash. 3 hits. Comes out at frame 17. It is your slowest of the smash attacks. Found 20 damage, uncharged. Fully charged, it's going to do around 28. It also has the best knockback of all the smash attacks he has. You have your up smash, which is a frame 12 option. 18 uncharged. 25 fully charged. And your down smash, which is also a 12 frame option, similar to up smash. Fully charged, it'll do 26. Uncharged, 19. Also to note when doing down smash, whichever way you start the down smash, so if I face this way, my opponent will end up behind me. So I'm going to give you an example of that. I'm facing Donkey Kong, which means Donkey Kong will be on the left of me for the final hit. See? As I said before, in the past, you have fallen out with Duck Hunt smash attacks, meaning that they're just not that great. But I don't know if in Ultimate they've really improved it that much. I haven't really seen my opponents fall out of smash attacks before. However, when I'm playing another Duck Hunt online or when my buddy's playing Duck Hunt, I definitely have fallen out of his smash attacks before, so keep that in mind. As I said before, forward smash does have the most knockback on it, meaning it'll be the one that gets the most kills. It's also good that it has the most range out of all the moves that he has, for smash attacks at least. So here's what it looks like uncharged. Got the kill around 100 from mid stage, that's nice. Up hunt, or not up hunt, up smash. Almost kills, but just kind of barely misses the mark. And down smash does not kill from this side. However, if I'm on the other side, it might not be that bad. Close enough. At least he has those for kill options, though. Let's discuss Duck Hunt's special moves, which is basically his personality. I love when the special moves of characters really fit and resemble them, and they're not just kind of thrown onto a character. I really hate that, but Duck Hunt's special moves are perfect for him. So, he has the can. As I say that, it just bounces. Okay, yeah, he has the can. So the can is basically just a set projectile. You can use it by throwing into your opponent if you want to. Oh, that was bad on my part. Let me try that again. There we go. Try that one more time because I could get it better. There we go. You could also just kind of put it above your opponent, kind of to make them fearful. You can even slow it down by simply just raising it as high as you want, kind of watching it fall, and then stopping the momentum of it. You can even put it on the ground and whack it towards your opponent. Very nice. A lot of people like to be super tricky with it, and they'll do like all kinds of setups and stuff just to land the can, which I think is kind of funny, but it's definitely cool when you get to see it. So the can's a very useful tool. On top of that, if you're being comboed to hell and you just, you're just not having a good time playing, or you really can't get any offense in, the can comes out at frame 1, which is crazy. So a lot of combos, if they're not just true to every single degree and you can't do anything about them, if they're not perfect, odds are you can just tap B and the can will come out and basically add separation between you and your opponent, allowing you to regroup and set up your attack formation. So the can is an awesome projectile. One more thing to keep in mind about the can, there are hitboxes on the explosion itself, but there's also hitboxes, let me see if I can get it just barely behind him. Okay, there are also hitboxes on the actual shot, so watch this, it's gonna kind of bounce. I was hoping it would, I'm gonna try that one more time. The shot I'm referring to was when you tap B initially, it should just kind of tap into him. See that? It didn't just explode, it tapped him upwards and then it exploded. So there's multiple hitboxes on that, so be mindful of that. Also, your opponent can whack it back towards you, so be very, very careful not to go against a swordy or something like that, who can easily just deflect it back to you and cause some serious damage to you. Also, in doing it, your can blow up and hurt you. Be mindful of that as well. And it does start to kill them around much later percent, unfortunately. That's the only bad part, is there's a little bit of trouble killing. Let's see if I can... Maybe if I whack it towards him, I'll be able to kill. We're getting somewhere. Maybe a little bit later after 150. Especially on the edge, though. It's a very good edge guarding tool as well. So let's see if I can bounce that back. There you go. Very nice. Alright, let's cut back down to 100 just to make this a little easier. We have our side B, which is kind of like a little frisbee. I believe the name of it is actually called the clay shooting disc, which is from another kind of old school game, 8-bit game. So here's what it looks like. Frisbee. If you don't tap B, it'll just hit the opponent and not do anything. However, you can tap B once it lands, or you could throw it into your opponent and tap B immediately, and it'll combo perfectly. It's also important to know that you can slow the speed of it down by just simply lightly tapping it. It'll go down much slower, not really approach the opponent as quick as the other ones. Or if you hold it to the right really hard and then do it, there you go, increases the speed, makes it much better. Also, it does kind of slowly dip down, so if you're trying to recover with it, I guess you could do it, but I don't really see people doing that. It also is a very good combo starter for a lot of duck hunts. And the up B, it's okay. That's all I can really say. It looks very sad. I'm not gonna lie. Like whenever I see this move, I'm just kind of like, oh, like that just looks so sad. I get it because duck is much smaller than dog, so naturally he's gonna struggle kind of carrying him, but it's just not great. I will say this: I believe in Smash 4, you weren't even able to do anything out of up B, but they did fix that in this game where you can pull off aerials and after your up B or something, or throw out a projectile or whatever you need to do. So that's nice at least, but it's not the best recovery. And the last part, which is usually the most confusing parts for a lot of people who are trying to play duck hunt, it's his down B. And you have 5 different basic down Bs, which is, it's confusing to say, but I'll get to it here in a sec. So here's what down B looks like. Alright, pretty simple, very slow. You wouldn't think it's a great move, however it's good for covering space and kind of zoning out your opponent. But as you see there, that's a different cowboy. Much faster cowboy, more damage on that one. That's because there's 5 different down Bs that Duck Hunt has, and it's completely RNG based, it's completely random, but each one kind of does something a little bit different. So I'm going to try to show you all 5 here, but if I can't get all 5, we're just going to have to move on. I'm hoping we can get all 5 pretty quick. Oh, okay. So that is, his name is basically Browncoat. He's the leader of the group of the different gunners. He is the fastest among all of them, and he has decent knockback, and when I say fastest, it's not much of a brag because it's frame 55, but it's still, he's the fastest one, so he's the one that's going to shoot quickest. You have the short cowboy. He's really nothing special. He kind of shoots around frame like 75 or 80, I believe. He's still pretty slow, but he's not the slowest because there's another one which is way slower, so if I can get to him. That's the sombrero. He's got the shortest range, but he does have the most damage and knockback, I believe. That's Black Suit. I think we've already seen him before. See if I can happen to get it. That's just regular cowboy. Sombrero again, we're going to see the damage increase with more knockback, even a flame effect to it. Sombrero again. Am I missing any? Have I not gotten one? I feel like we've seen them all, but I'm going to do 2 more just to make sure. There's Cowboy, Sombrero, we saw that one, and Tall Cowboy. Yep, I think that actually covers all of them. So really, the best ones to me are not that one, brown coat, quickest with good knockback and damage, and Sombrero, which happens to do decent damage, but is kind of a little slow, but that's okay. Alright, so on to the combo portion of the video. Time for some combos, my favorite part of the video. I have a few combos for you guys. I think they're all pretty easy, but they all do net pretty decent damage and they're very useful. They do vary in different terms of percent, but a lot of them start at 0. So let's power our opponent to 0 for this first combo. This first combo is going to net you anywhere from around 45 to 53% damage off of just one interaction, which is very good. As I said before, Duck Hunt has no problem getting damage on the opponent. It's killing that he has an issue with. So, very first thing we're going to do, we're going to drop a can over our opponent's head, or even on our opponent's back, depending on what we can really work off of. And then we're going to follow with a grab. We're going to try to throw the can, or throw our opponent into the can, which will then set our opponent perfectly in place for 2 up airs to follow up with. Here's what it's going to look like. Hopefully I can do it first try. Oh, kind of whiffed that one there. There we go. Easy 53%. You don't even have to really do the can if you don't want to. Like, you don't have to throw your opponent into the can. Sometimes it's really hard if your opponent figures out what you're doing. So what you can do is you can actually place the can somewhere, leave it there for a while, and then hit your opponent into the can and follow up with other stuff too. So keep that in mind. You don't have to worry about throwing throwing your opponent into the can so much as knocking your opponent into the can in the first place. So it's also good for leaving kind of traps around for your opponent. That way they can't really deal with it. But other than that, that's the first combo. Second combo is also going to make use out of our pretty decent up air. We're going to be doing a falling up air to up tilt to double up air at 0, or because I think this is a little bit easier because it's a little bit difficult to hit the falling up airs, you can also do a falling fair to up tilt to double up air. So it's going to look like we're going to do the falling up air first. It's a little bit harder to hit the true point of falling up air because if you hit them up high, sometimes it's not going to be true. So keep that in mind. See, like that wasn't true. Or at least the falling up air part wasn't. We'll do it one more time. But easy 36% just off of one little interaction. And now we're going to do our falling fair to up tilt to double up air, which is basically the same thing, just a little bit more consistent, I think. And it does, I think, more damage too, which is pretty nice. Maybe just go for the falling fair to up tilt. Seems to be more effective. I believe it's because you're going to only get like one tiny little tap of up air, whereas you're getting the full hit of forward air when you're doing it. So keep that in mind. Doing falling forward air will cause more damage. So easy 40 to 35%. Very nice second combo. This third combo is going to make use out of our side B, but we're actually going to be putting our opponent to around 90 just to get like the damage off correctly, because it's a little bit difficult to do at low percent. It does work on platforms quite well, but unfortunately we're on kind of like a final D type map, so we're going to make do with what we got. So I'm going to be going for double side B into up air, into fair, or back air. Now you can hit down air, but it's pretty difficult because it's one of the slower moves you have, but usually double side B to up air is pretty simple and does quite a good amount of damage. It's just a shame it doesn't kill though. So at least around 90 for DK it won't kill. So let's get this going real quick. Alright, there was our double side B to up air. There was our double side B to fair. And there was our double side B to back air. And back air is the one that's going to get the kill because back air does have the most knockback. So feel free to use any of those you want. You could also use neutral air. And I said before, you could use down air. It's just kind of difficult to hit. But I have gotten a few times, and it is true on occasion. Only problem is with these kind of videos, it would just take me forever to actually get all these in one. So I figured I'd just show the most easy ones, or at least the ones that I think are easier. So that's the third combo. Alright, we got another combo coming. This one works from anywhere from 80 to 120. It's very similar to the last one, except we're exclusively going for one move here. So, as I said before, you could end your combo with down air in the previous combo, it's just a little bit difficult because your opponent's kind of high up and they're at an angle, making it kind of difficult for it to be true. Sometimes it doesn't matter if it's true, it'll just hit, but in this case, this will be true, so no worries. So anywhere from 80 to 120 I find works best, especially for heavies. Usually the higher percent, the better. So here we go. It's going to be a simple side B to down air. Hopefully we can get it first try. Oh, we hit it, but it wasn't true. We want it to be true. There we go. Now, we didn't connect with the first initial hit of down air, so I'm going to try to do it one more time. But that's basically what it looks like. Let me see if I can do it one more time. There we go. So 32%, quick little snap. Basically, it's it's almost like your opponent just dissolves off the screen. It's so fast. Sometimes I don't even realize what's going on until it's too late, which I think is pretty cool. And as I said before, this does work at lower percents, like 80 or 90 or 100 even. Those aren't really that low now that I think about it, but lower than 120 at least. The only problem is, as I said before, previously, tons of times already, Duck Hunt has an issue killing, and some people can even make it back from a down air, even being at 80 to 90%, which is just kind of bad. But around 120, they're not coming back. So that's this combo. This next combo I feel like is one of the simpler ones, so I feel like everybody should know how to do it. And it's awesome because it works anywhere from 0 to 120%, depending on the weight of the character. In this case, Donkey Kong is a heavyweight, and it still works on him at 120. So we're going to put him at 120 just for the example, but no, it works anywhere from 0 to, a higher percent. So all it is, very simple, landing fair into fair, and if you're confident enough, you can actually do landing fair into back air, and back air will kill. So here's what landing fair to fair looks like. Fairly simple. That won't kill, but it does put your opponent off the map, which is very nice because then you can then follow up with a can, or you can go after them, or whatever you're going to do really. But now we're going to go for the fair to back air. This is a little bit more difficult because you're basically doing a reverse back air, and not a lot of people really know how to do that. For me, I'm more comfortable just doing fair, quickly turning, and then back airing. But I know a lot of people don't really do that. You can also, of course, do kind of like a cheat way where you're holding the stick to the right. I believe it's you flick the right stick to the left, and then you jump, so it looks like that. Or try that again. Maybe I should try it that way. That way, sorry. So that's what it kind of looks like. So if that helps at all when doing this, go for it. But you don't have to do back air. I just like having the option to do back air because it's an easier way to get a kill in my opinion. So here's what it's going to look like. Hopefully I can do it the first try now that I've talked it up so much. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so if you're comfortable doing, reverse back airs, this will be a very good kill option at a later percent. And this kind of gets an easier way to get early kills. Or not so early kills, but not having options that basically put your opponent at 150 plus and then being able to kill them. Basically being able to kill them around 110 to 120 if they're near the edge, which is nice. We got a few more combos to go in this video. These are all going to start at 0, and they're very, very simple and easy to do. So I feel like anybody could do these. Once again, we're going to use our falling fair, and we're going to connect it into pretty much anything we want, and I'll show you that in here in a sec. So this is basically just, pick your poison kind of scenario. You can go into falling fair into nair, you can do a falling fair into fair as we already showed before, you can do a falling fair into F tilt, or if you want the most amount of damage, you can do falling fair into up smash. So let's get that a go real quick. Falling fair into up smash. That did not work. I need to do that. There we go. There's our falling fair into up smash. 24% just off basically one tiny move. You saw the falling fair already. We'll go ahead and do that one more time though, just to prove it does work at 0. Even though it didn't work just there. There we go. Double fair is true as well. You could do your fair to forward tilt, as you saw right there. Or you could do your fair to nair, which I kind of like that one a little more. Mainly because if you do the nair, as soon as you hit it, you can drift away and kind of be safe just in case for whatever reason you miss. So that's always pretty good too. So there's some more options for you just for some easy early percent damage if you're really having trouble racking on percent. Another simple yet effective combo you could do would be you could do nair into practically anything, but for this case we're going to do nair into jab, into F tilt, or down tilt. So here's what that looks like. I like the jab one because it feels like it does a lot of like a lot of damage, even though it doesn't really, but I don't know, the feeling feels okay to me. So 22 off that interaction. We're gonna go for our nair to F tilt. Oh, make sure whenever you do this that you land kind of lower on your opponent, or you will not have it a true combo. There we go. Or nair to down. Ooh, just didn't nair at all. Or to down tilt. Yeah. So once again, very simple, very basic, easy 20% combos every time. I'm telling you guys, like, it's just nice to have simple basic stuff that you know works. It's cool when you have those really flashy, neat combos, but I feel like you'll be more successful if you just understand your basics and your fundamentals. And these are kind of like those kind of combos in my opinion. We have made it to the final combo of the video. Thank you guys so much for sticking along. I know this is a pretty long video. I apologize for it. I just can't help but like add as much as I can to the videos. If you guys did make it this far though, I'd like to know who actually did. Drop a comment woofer. That's W-O-O-F-E-R, as in our dog is a woofer. And we'll see if people actually comment that. I can't wait to actually see if anybody actually does. But anyway, next combo, or the last combo actually, we're going to make use of our down B. We've already discussed, that there's 5 different types of down Bs, so now we're just going to implement them into our combos. And really, you can freestyle this one. This can be whatever you want. I'm going to give you one example and that I think is kind of cool. It puts on a few damage. So I'm going to do down B into rising, or into falling up air, into up tilt, into up air again. So I'm going to do that really quick. And then I'm just going to freestyle and show you guys a few more without really going into too much detail about them. So here we go. I was hoping I would get it true there, but beggars can't be choosers. I'd like to get, there we go. One more time, hopefully I can get it true. Nope. But essentially, it's always landing that last hit of up tilt. Yeah, that's basically what it looks like though. Now you don't have to just do that. You can actually do all kinds of other things. You could do your down B into grab, because you know your opponent's going to shield. It's a good way to kind of bluff them. You know they're going to try to block that. You can do your down B into up tilt, just running up and doing it, and follow up with whatever you want. You can do your down B into fair. You can do your down B into back air. You can even do your down B into forward smash, down smash, or up smash. There's like a ton of options. This is basically the ultimate combo starter for any character. Here's the problem though. If you do this, your opponent's not just going to stand there and take it. Meaning that you're going to have to basically figure out what works best for you. If your opponent acts a certain way when they see this guy come out, maybe they always shield, that should be a good clear message to you to go for a grab. If your opponent always jumps, you know you can just follow up with a quick little up air. Just try to read your opponent and understand what they're going to do. Alright guys, well that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed so much. Once again, thank you to me, Captain, for suggesting this video. If you do comment, I'll be sure to highlight it and tell you thank you very much. And for all of you who enjoyed the video, feel free to like his comment as well if he comments. And thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe for more.